Benzema has signed for Saudi Pro League team Al Ittihad. A simple statement in a summer transfer window, and one that on the face of it has all the hallmarks of an aging European star simply leaving the continent for one final payday. But the reality is that this and the other big-name acquisitions that are about to follow him into the country actually mark a serious power shift within the global footballing market, one that, whether people like it or not, is specifically designed to change the sport forever. This is how Saudi Arabia is conquering football. On November 22nd last year, the Saudi Arabian national team came from a goal behind to beat the eventual world champions Argentina. It was unarguably one of the most shocking results in the entire history of the World Cup, and under normal circumstances would have represented the biggest thing to happen to Saudi football for a generation. However, it held that status for barely 6 weeks. A mere 48 days later, Cristiano Ronaldo tore up his contract at Manchester United and was unveiled as the newest signing for Saudi club Al Nassr. He did so through to an online course of laughs and derision. Here was one of the game's best players, still thinking himself an elite athlete going to play in the 68th biggest league in the world. But as we will see this summer, Ronaldo was merely the first major name in what's designed to be an explosive and disruptive period of growth for football in Saudi Arabia, one that's now financed by the country's own sovereign wealth fund, and could thus start to challenge the top leagues in Europe almost immediately. Ronaldo is already there. Benzema, the reigning Ballon d'Or holder, is now set to join him, but this is only the beginning. Chelsea's N'Golo Kanté has also signed a deal within the league. Wilfried Zaha looks to be leaving Crystal Palace and has a Saudi offer on the table. Roberto Firmino and Sergio Busquets are free agents after leaving Liverpool and Barcelona respectively, and have allegedly been approached by Saudi clubs. Luka Modric, Pepe, and Sergio Ramos have had talks about joining former teammate Ronaldo. Neymar's representatives have spoken to a number of clubs in the league. Son Heung-min also considers it a viable option if his next move can't guarantee him Champions League football. Behind the Newcastle United takeover, and more recently changed the entire face of golf forever by merging its live venture with that of the PGA and DP World Tours. It is not an organization that invests in something without ambitions to dominate it. Huge stakes have been acquired in Disney, Starbucks, WWE, Uber, and countless others as it works on its mission to diversify the country's portfolio away from just simply being an oil state and rebrand Saudi Arabia's image on a world stage. And this is where the controversy starts. The Saudi Arabian human rights record should appall anyone who takes the time to learn about it. Homosexuality is considered a crime in the country and is punishable by deportation, life imprisonment, public flogging, and even death. Women's rights, while improving, are still severely restricted, and the country is listed as one of the worst in the world for its attitudes on civil liberty and freedom of speech in 2023. Saudi Arabia has a booming population that is increasingly young, affluent, digitally and culturally switched on, and that has a serious appetite for entertainment. It seems from the West, but it's also one that, as the spotlight on the nation is intensified, is growing bolder in voicing itself over the news. The owners, however, are doing it right, investing billions into giving the country one of the best football leagues in the world, where fans can see players like Ronaldo and Benzema every single week, is in part design duplicates, some of this discontent, and just like hosting major WWE shows or a Formula One Grand Prix or opening a Six Flags amusement park. It will to some extent work in purely footballing terms, though it's also seen as being a major boost to the country's hopes of hosting one of the next World Cups. The league's biggest club, Al Nassr, commands an average attendance of over 40,000 fans, but the rest of the division regularly sees 4 figures through the gates, despite having capacity for 5. Cristiano Ronaldo's arrival at Al Nassr took their average attendance from around 7,000 to nearly 20,000. And the hope is that by adding global talent throughout the league, every other club can see something similar. But is this a good outcome overall for the sport of football? Is football ruined? Will it ever be the same? Only time will tell.